Hi Pisces, here is a general look at your solar chart for May 2015. The sun's in a pretty good angle to your sun sign this month, as it always is at this time of the year. And it looks like you will be busy on the home patch, but in a nice kind of a way, really, although there might be a lot of little details and little sort of things that you notice. Or maybe it's not the home patch, maybe it's some kind of temporary home patch. It might be like that, or maybe it's not that at all. Maybe it's within the community, the neighborhood, or to do with family members or extended family. But as the month kicks off, the sun is in an area to do with making connections, gathering information. It could be education, it could be media, it could be more just darting about the place mentally or physically. Is a time when you've just got more in your mind or more to get your head around. Also Mars is there, so we've got the sun there till the 21st and Mars there really firing it up, meaning that you're not backwards and coming forwards with maybe your opinion. You're feeling quite competitive about maybe speaking up or putting information out there, promotional type stuff as well. Decisiveness will be needed, and you will enjoy perhaps the clarity of this Mars position, and comings and goings may increase, or you find yourself more in the stream of information exchange, and it's a good concept, a good time to float a concept or body of work. But if you're just, on the phone a lot, or corresponding a lot, or emailing, or doing this kind of thing a lot, which it could be with Mars there, then you need to get some, deliberately put boundaries in place to get some downtime. And just put your feet up, meditate, do something with your hands, because this actually is like craft work, because this is actually a really, really strong mental emphasis. And where Mercury and Venus are, they need that more hands-on, quiet, private sort of time. However, having said that, you could be having more visitors, or so you're playing the host to people, or you are going out and you are the guest and they are playing a host to you. There's a lovely energy actually coming into the root of your chart until the 8th. Maybe some of you are DIYing and doing decoration work, or doing the garden or whatever. But just maybe appreciating where you are, or perhaps you're not at home. As I said earlier, perhaps you're just somewhere that you appreciate, or with people that you feel a real tribal connection with, a real family connection with, and you really appreciate them. It's a great time to bury the hatchet if there has been an ongoing feud, by the way. Mercury is also in that area, meaning the mental focus could revolve around family, extended family, neighbors, the community, property matters, very much so, very strongly emphasized property matters, location, and correspondence, discussions could be centered around that, ideas flying around about space, inside, outside, points on the map, etc. And you could be mulling things over, sometimes feeling a bit sensitive, sometimes harking back to the past. Maybe there's a blast from the past. That could also be happening as well. There could be communications with relations or parents for some of you. You thinking more about a legacy or a tradition of some kind, but also feeling more, as you are very sensitive, many of you Pisceans, feeling more that family sort of spiritual energy around you more at this time as well. Now Mercury is doing a couple of things that you should know about. Mercury is going over the degree of Saturn in the first week of May by opposition, so that means that you could have more on your mind. You could feel a bit kind of downbeat with that energy, but it's not even the full week, it's just a few days of the first week. And more paperwork to deal with, just having to be more kind of disciplined and getting on with it. And then then there's a gap, and then the next slowdown comes when Mercury goes retrograde for 3 weeks from the 19th onwards. So this means, you may or may not know about Mercury retrogrades, but it just means that there tend to be more, if ever there's a time for delays, it could be when Mercury goes retrograde more often. Postponements, hold-ups, rescheduling necessary, maybe People don't get back to you when they say they're going to, or they get the wrong end of the stick. And so you have to be really deliberately clearer, and you will be able to because of the position of Mars, well, at least up until the 12th. Oh yes, well, actually, you're going to have to be clearer wherever Mars is. So you're going to have to be clearer from the 19th onwards, but Mars is going then to the root of your chart anyway. But you're going to have to be clearer in matters of communication, and check up whether they've, you know, got what you sent, or they got, you know, they got the right idea. It's my chirpy little computer over there. In the, you know, the meaning got across to them in the way that you wanted it to get across. That's advisable anyway. Some people seem to feel the Mercury retrogrades more than others. It depends on where Mercury was and the condition of Mercury by aspect in the natal chart. That really is the most telling about this. If somebody's going to be affected by it, or somebody will just take it in their stride. But anyway, during this slower time with Mercury retrograde, it gives you more of a chance to get to the heart of the matter, to kind of pick up on the signals, the omens, the clues, you know, keeping your ear to the ground sort of thing. You begin to get the idea, whatever the idea is about. And also it can mean sort of like an inner cleansing is going on. Maybe even it could even be like, if it's to do with property matters, it could be like you begin to get the sense of what's going on with it, or where you should be looking, or where you should be, you know, deeper understanding of the past and how it affects the present. And your own reactions as well will help balance and stabilize for when the transit is over. So it will mean that you are not so pushed and rushed, you see, this Mercury retrograde time. Venus moves from that area that Mercury is in on the 8th, and then goes to a really lighter sort of area. She's in a sort of more party mood, and meaning that you will start to be able to be in more situations where you are feeling more light-hearted. You get a chance for leisure activities, and there could be happy connections with children, young people, pets, partners, and even, you know, meeting that special someone if that special someone hasn't come along already, but then improving it if he or she has. In general, this energy links you to anything you personally find empowering. So it might not be to do with love or children or parties, but it could, or leisure pursuits. It might be that those competitive juices sort of flowing, and also you being able to motivate somebody else in a creative kind of line of thinking about the possibilities of something, because it's very good for promotional activity, this position of Venus, and also anything entrepreneurial as well. Social get-togethers could revolve around investment, speculative interest, leisure, performance, or art, or to do with, as I said, children or animals. Now Mars is moving from this area to do with socializing, making connections, being in the sort of information exchange, very much almost like running you ragged because you've got so much to think about, into a more serene, quiet area from the 12th at the root of your charts. You getting very busy at the base of operations, and your roof over your head may need physical effort, or the floor or the walls, or maybe it's not like that. Maybe there's a massive declutter going on, or something going on in the neighborhood if you're not at home, and you just hustle and bustle around you, and it can be accelerating things and lots going on around you. Another way this can work is that you feel more sensitive, things to do with the past coming up in the present, maybe skeletons in the closet. I mean, quite literally, you open an old closet and all these skeletons fall out. I mean, and then you realize that you sort of great uncle Archibald was a biologist or something. I don't know, but it could literally be, you know, like emotional skeletons, and you could feel just, you know, it's easier to push your buttons at this time, but that's not the main thing about it. The main thing about it is that you're very, very busy in and around a locality, whether that's at home or to do with family or extended family or tribe, and whizzing about more there, and you will be putting your energies into something which connects you with those sorts of things, but also with Mother Nature as well, and the planet perhaps as a whole also, and picking up, as you do, you Pisceans, on the more ethereal side of Mother Nature and the planet as a whole. And this transit from the 12th of Mars down there, excuse me, for about 6 weeks, will put you in touch with the sort of the energetics of any kind of location as well, and take you, you know, not being so much in your head, although it is quite a left brain orientated month in all, because of the position of Mercury and the Sun. And you'll be feeling things more deeply, but this is definitely a time for you to be listening to your instincts. From the 21st, the Sun comes in to join Mars there at the base of operations, so buying, selling, home improvements, or a space, or in a locality, wherever you are, but your gaze will tend to be more introspective. You will be taking things in like a sponge more, but definitely listen to your instincts, because your intuition is very, very good. Now, just a couple other things. Mars does go across Saturn at the beginning of the 3rd week, meaning that you maybe feel burdened down, or you take a dip in energy there. And then, of course, the Sun goes across Saturn. Not of course, but the Sun does go across Saturn in the first half of the last week, resulting in maybe a challenge or two, or you having to be far more serious and on the ball. And there's a few challenges to overcome there, maybe, but that is only the first 3 to 4 days. So all of these transits are very, very brief. Saturn is at the top of your solar chart in a more dynamic, challenging position now in Sagittarius until next month, when Saturn will leave temporarily for a couple of months. Well, for about 3 months. And this is a dynamic position for you to kind of work with and get things done, but in slow stages, because Saturn does not like to be rushed. So everything happens very, very gradually. It's going to help you gradually over this, well, up until 2017, in fact, redefine your place in the world and how others see you, and definitely there will be, through slow gradual steps, a change in your life direction, or an improvement, shall we say, in maybe the route, the trajectory, you know, and what's happening on the trajectory, and maybe a change in that direction. But it could also be the way you are enjoying it or not, you know. This is the time for the harvest. This is a major transit over the zenith, if you like, of your chart. So this is you reaping seeds of what was laid in the past, your hard work in the past now coming to fruition. Whoopee! But if you've been naughty and you've been escaping all the time and you haven't been paying attention, then you will reap the results of that. But probably you've done a lot more than you realize. You are a sign that is maybe you don't really fully appreciate your contribution. Well, I think most people do that, but sort of particularly your sign, you can be you know, long suffering, and you feel it's your duty to sort of be on standby or to be the support, right? So you've probably done a heck of a lot more than you realize. So don't panic about this being the harvest. But Saturn has been known as the grim reaper, in fact. But it's also this transit of Saturn, this passage of Saturn over the top of your chart, as the not so grim, you know, that now you can really reap what has gone before over, you know, depending on your age, but it can be the last 14 years in particular, or it can be even, you know, the last sort of 28 years, 27, 28 years. By the end of the transit, it would be about 29 years. So you may feel that you are not, you may feel that you're not getting much of this harvesting because of the slowness of Saturn. You may feel that you're not going in the right direction, or you're doing poorly at achieving the goals, or others aren't recognizing you in the way you want to be recognized in the wider world. And you've just got to work harder at cultivating those. But actually, if they do not have eyes to see, then maybe you sort of, shall we say, hanging out with the wrong crowd with the career. But maybe sometimes we have to do that because we are taking kind of a way around to get to where we want to go. So know that everything that goes on with Saturn can be pushing against, well, we have to push back against the adversity there until slowly this new structure takes shape. But Saturn has your best interests at heart, do not doubt that. She is a very, very strong mother energy, and she's very protective, but she's also very, very strict, and she expects you to come up to her standards. And you will get the gist. If you look back about 14 years or 27 years, you'll get the gist of what is unfolding now by recalling where you were then, what your choices were, how you felt, and what happened next. And it can be quite an eye-opener. You Pisces born 19 to the 23rd of February, really, really early Pisceans, or with 0 to 4 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most this month. And Jupiter will be in your area of health and work until next August. And so there's going to be no shortage of opportunities for you to learn better, to learn about what you do better, because you feel more comfortable, you feel more keen, you feel more enthusiastic about doing it this way or doing that type of work rather than the other type of work, you see. So you really begin to get the gist of it, because Jupiter is a teaching planet, but also Jupiter can be opening doors to new occupations, new employment. And just now at the moment there is this amazing transit between collaboration really between Jupiter and Uranus, which does mean that this hugely promising mean that you could get catapulted off onto a new track within that area there, to do with work. It's also to do with health as well. So they were quite close together. This rather sort of surprising and sometimes quite magical energy, quite close together in April. They're a bit wider apart over May, and then from second half of June they come back to closeness again. And so it's not so, it's a little bit muted this month, but they're still working off each other. So the more your awareness goes to it, the stronger the energy can be, because it's recognized by you. It's like, do you believe in fairies? You know, if you don't believe in fairies, fairies die. But this is almost like got it. That's from Peter Pan. For those of you that don't know, it's you know, if you do believe in fairies, then the fairies are there to help you. So the fairy energy, or the magic energy, or the energy of the unknown, absolutely unbelievable, could it possibly be true, potential is there to help you. And that's without sort of raising your hopes too high. But what I'm trying to say is that Jupiter and Uranus just zinging away with each other, I think they're a really good pair. And you know, Jupiter maybe with Saturn is a bit kind of different, but Jupiter with Uranus means that the potential of the expansion of Uranus, of Jupiter with Uranus, can be in a very different kind of way, thinking outside of the box, in your work area, also to do with health matters as well. And you will get the chance to if you're flexible enough to figure out, okay, well, I've never actually really taken that seriously, but just let me go back to that and see if it's applicable, if it's doable, you see, whatever that's about, because it might have been something you left behind you down the line to do with work or health matters, you see, or skills. So just, yeah. And you Pisceans born the 2nd to the 6th of March, or with 12 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most, but it can be on either side of those dates and degrees as well. Neptune's in your sign now, and you become a little bit more Neptunian, a little bit more sensitive. You Pisceans born 26th of February to the 1st of March, with 8 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. And that's it for May. I'll see you the next time.